get ready as per usual. If you're watching this in repeat, you can just always like skip forward a few minutes. Like the first few minutes of any live stream is like usually just setting things up and waiting for people to arrive. Let me just go into my channel here so I can see if there's any chat. Let me put this down here. Let me make this smaller. Oh, mini player. There we go. Hey Dennis, how are things, man? 1 second now. I'm just trying to get my little computer set up so I can read your comments. Hello, Ed. Just bear me for a second now. Where's the here we go. That's good. So hello to Dennis. Hello to Ed from Tennessee. Hello to German guy Bobo. To Kirk as well. Good evening, my man. Good evening, Kirk. How are you? I still have this guy right beside me. Look, it's getting lower now. It's getting lower each week. Tommy's in the house. How are things, my man? How's everything going in the world? Did you guys have a hurricane, Ida, or did that blow in Louisiana or someplace like that? Is that close to you? No, I don't really know my U.S. southern geography too well, but I hope wherever you are in the world that you're all surviving another week of this thing that we're continuing to go through. It's looking like we're going in Ireland. It's looking like we'll have a bit of one of these COVID winters ahead of us anyway. But sure, I think we're learning to live with it now anyway. Like, so we have Tommy, we have Lenny as well from Liverpool. How are things, Lenny? I hope it's all well from you. Staying out of trouble, staying head down, keeping quiet. You know, that's what I told my son the first week of school. Like, my son was starting secondary school, and I told him just keep quiet, keep his head down the first week. No matter how easy it is to say a joke in class, don't do it, because he's a joker, and he's always like, you know, looking for that punchline. I told him no matter how much it is, just to keep his head down the first week in school. We have an Irishman, Michael from Thurles in Tipperary, not too far away. What's that, about an hour and a half away, I'd say. How are things in Thurles? Like, I haven't been there in ages. Like, always in Thurles, there's always like Powers and Ryans, and you know, they're all surnames everywhere. I remember like everyone from Thurles was called like a Power or a Ryan, like, and they're all called Paddy. There's like, I've never met in my life so many people called Paddy from Thurles and in and around there, you know. But sure, Irish names are not original. Like, you know, my name is Francis, my dad's Francis, grandfather's Francis. You know, there's no creativity, I suppose, with Irish names. We have Ron Evans as well. Hey Ron, how are things? Where are you from yourself, Ron? We're all just kind of getting used to each other. I'm based here in Killorglin, County Kerry. Let's see. A Galway man in exile. Well, Galway is not that far away. Were you like 30 minutes from Galway, something like that? So obviously, if you're in exile, then you met some Tipperary girl, and you know, just as I said, there's a long road to Tipperary. Lenny, I'm getting to an age that I'd love to get into trouble, Francis. Well, you know, it depends on what type of trouble you're interested in. Like, there's various sorts. You always like to talk in mystery and riddles, but I can read between the lines, Lenny. I know what you're at. Antonio Birdle. Hi, Francis. Hey, Antonio, where are you from yourself? Let's see. We have Ron all the way from Oregon in USA. I sell a lot to Oregon, actually. But always like the people who buy walking sticks from me in Oregon, they live a little bit off the beaten track, so it takes a few days longer, usually with the couriers. But it's usually there within like a week or stuff. Or like if you're really off the beaten track in Oregon, the couriers will sometimes hand it over to like a local like post delivery, and it can take a little bit longer. But yeah, Oregon looks like a lovely place. Like, you know, it's you know, vast areas to explore. Be my kind of place. Ed, me too. My son is Ed's the fourth, isn't it? That's the IV. So he's the fourth. I'm Francis the fifth. My son is Francis the sixth. So we go back 6 generations that we can trace anyway. It might go further. But yeah, it was a very Irish thing to do, where the father and son, the firstborn son was always to take the father's name, in Ireland, you know, and then it was always like some kind of religious name, like Francis is as religious as you get. Saint Francis, you know. I don't know. Do you know much about like Saint Francis? I'll give you a quick. Saint Francis story is kind of a bit mad. Saint Francis, he could talk to the animals, you know, so he would go around talking to animals, and everyone made him a saint there in Italy in Assisi. And his sister was called Claire, and my sister's called Claire as well. But like nowadays, if I went around talking to animals, I'd be locked up in a mental institution. Like they wouldn't have that here in Clorgan. Like if I was going around talking to all the animals. But I do talk to dogs. If I see dogs, I like dogs a lot. Cats not too much. Not really a cat person, but more into dogs and stuff. Let's see now. Michael, as always from Colorado. Very good. You know, is Aspen in Colorado and the skiing and all that too, I think. Antonio is in Miami, Florida. Yeah, Tommy is another Florida guy, and I think there's another person from Florida too. You guys, you know, you're doing well over there, are you? Is it hurricane season starting? You know, like how often do you guys get hit by that? Isn't there like one every week for the next few weeks? I think in Ireland we usually get our worst storms in October and November. I think like what was it, October the 13th? We got a bad one year. It was a Storm Olivia, and then like the 16th. So from memory, October, kind of middle of October, there's been these like, you know, mad storms that come in. But like the thing about in Ireland is like we get a storm every single week, boom boom boom, for the whole winter. Like we get, usually it's kind of not too bad until about the 15th 16th of October, and then just this darkness descends in Ireland, and cloudy, and you know, everyone's kind of miserable. No vitamin D gets through to Irish people. We're in trouble. We're in trouble this winter with our lack of vitamin D. Let's see. Roy says lots of smoke in the air here. Why is there burning stuff? Is there some fires going on? Tim says, hello Francis, watching you from the car shop, getting an oil change. Is that a euphemism? Are you like Lenny and speaking in riddles there? But are you actually getting a physical oil change? Let's see, Bobo. I send greets to all the guys from the community. Yeah, we're all from the same community here. We all like Blackthorn walking sticks. We like faction fighting. We like the history. We like the Irish things. We like handmade crafts. Like this is the community. A lot of intelligent guys, more intelligent than me, are in this community. We have engineers, we have, you know, medical professionals, lawyers, you know, lot of people as well, you know, that are in this type of community are you know, there's no bullshitting. Like that's what I do. Like I try there's no bullshit at the type of approach to selling. Look, here's a stick, there it is. You know, there's no magic or you know, this stick is going to make your hair grow back or some nonsense like that. Like it's you know, it's a handmade product, and it's all good. That's it. Let's see. Blackthorn sticks for dogs. It's good. You stamp that blackthorn in front of you, you know, and the dogs, they go back, they jump. You know, you do like a sudden gesture and just grind your teeth like that. I don't know, man. No matter how wild the dog, they're taken back when you just stamp the stick. I just hit the stick on the ground. When I get like a dog that's just, you know, but some of the dogs, like, you know, they're not afraid of you. Like they're challenged. Like there's some quite tough tug dogs out there. Let's see. Tim, hi Francis. Afternoon from Rochester in New York. Very good. I don't know much about Rochester. I don't even know if that's how it's pronounced as well. But tell us about that area. Was like you like in northern New York, or it's like all woodlands and stuff like that? Or are you right in kind of some kind of urban kind of area? Antonio says, I have a St. Francis in my backyard. Oh, really? Okay. So, you know, someone who can talk to the animals as well. That's very good. Zero Fox, evening, Francis. Evening to you as well, my friend. Actually, yeah, Tim, of course, yeah. Actually getting a real oil change. How much is it? So when you get your, like in Ireland, we call it the servicing. So if you want to put your car in to get serviced, what are you looking at? About 150 euro, something like that. 180 euro for full service. So what's that, about like $200 or something? I think that's like the last few times I've got brought in the car, it's been in that price. You know, if you kind of do most things yourself, maybe, or get some local lad, about 100 euro. But mostly on average is about, from my experience, about 150 euro. Like how much are they charging you there over there, Tim? Let's see, Antonio and Burdell. We just have one that went in through Louisiana. Ida, yeah, I saw that, and lots of people lost everything. Amazing, yeah. Like when a storm comes in, sure in America, like you build houses out of wood, isn't it? It's all like these wooden houses. Like in Ireland, we have concrete, where we know the wind is going to smack us and smack us every winter non-stop. Like you need the concrete housing. I think in America they have like you see these tornadoes that go in and stuff, and it's just like all all wood everywhere. Like it seems to make wooden houses, but they can't last too long. Wind comes in and they're done for. Concrete all the way. You need something solid, like a blackthorn. A blackthorn house. That's it. Let's see now. Tim's same Antonio. We have a statue of Saint Francis in our backyard. Oh, where all our past pests are buried. Not religious, but it's a relic from our Catholic grandparents. Yeah, like if you have any connection to Ireland, like Catholic culture is beat into you almost from a young age. That reminds me, the confirmations and the communions from last year that were cancelled are actually on next week. I think I have a child or something that I think I have two. I'm not sure. I must check that up as well. I have to do the. I'm terrible at keeping on top of every little detail from these school events and religious things. I just lose track of all that. Let's see, Tommy. I'm in North Florida, Saint Augustine. Yeah, I should know your address by now. Because I've sent enough sticks to you, Tommy. I shouldn't know your address by heart. But I wouldn't dox you. I wouldn't dox you, like say where you are. I think Miami get hit more than we do by hurricanes. Well, wishful thinking. Maybe this year will be your year, Tommy. But I'm sure you'll be all right. Like, are you like living in a kind of secure like area in terms of from the wind, like secure in that kind of regard? Are you like sheltered, or are you quite exposed, or let's see. Um, Bobo, in Germany, a pit stop oil change is 40 to 50 euro. Just but like for like a service where they check everything and they check your oil as well. What would be the price on that as well? Let's see. Rochester is in Western New York, on the coast, with Lake Ontario. Canada's across the way. Decent sized city, third largest in the state behind New York and Buffalo, I believe. Sounds pretty good. You should be working for the tourist board. I think I would go there. Sounds like a nice little crossroads as well. But I'm guessing we get pretty cold in the winter time there. With some of those Canadian winds blowing down, bringing the bad weather. Tim, I bought a service package when I bought the car, so basically it's free. Oh yeah, that's kind of handy. I never when they're always trying to sell me the extras, like when like you don't buy a car that often, like it's when I buy a car anyway, it lasts me for years and stuff. But when they're trying to sell me every little bit and pieces, I just I just go no, that's fine, like because it's a new car, like chances are nothing is going to be fine for at least 5 years or something like that. Like my car that I got in 2019 in July, and it's what is it? It's a Honda car, good old Japanese made one. We don't have any. What if there was an Irish car? What was the name of that Irish car they made for that movie? Back to the Future, and it was going to be like a big Irish manufacturer making cars. The DeLorean, that's it. I don't know. Isn't that it, guys? You probably know better than me now. You can Google it away. But I think it was DeLorean. Was the car, and the doors open things, and it was a disaster. Like trying to make it into a business. But I think that's the closest. Yeah, Bo, I see there, DeLorean. Yeah. It's it's a bit of a disaster. I think it was up in Belfast or something. They were trying to get it going. I can't remember the full story. Like it was like years ago. It was probably in the 80s or late 80s or 90s or something like that. But I just remember it being in the news a good bit back then when I was younger. Let's see. Bobo says hi, Tommy. Tommy, gentlemen's Evers. Hi, Bobo. How is Deutschland? Deutschland, yeah. I was listening to some Rammstein or Rammstein. Wait, Rammstein. That's it. Because I must pronounce. I was listening to some German kind of metal there today about probably an hour ago. Just kind of as I'm doing the handles. Like usually, if I'm doing the handles and sanding them and stuff, I just want something a bit kind of a bit energetic to kind of get me through it as well. It just depends, and different processes. Like when I'm painting the sticks, I listen to something a bit softer, or something a bit more like different, some electronic as well. What is it? What's the German electronic bands? The Model and stuff like that. What are those guys? Can't remember, but New Order and different things like that. Let's see now. There is no safe place when a current wave will hit you. Maybe in a bunker on a very high hill. Yeah, like how like they in Ireland. Um, Usually the damage is worse when the winds get to about 180 kilometers per hour. Like usually at about 120, small little damage, 130. But if we get one around 160 plus, then usually there's like a bit of damage, and it's annoying because you get no one to fix like the roof and different things as well. The DeLorean, yeah. Antonio says wall. Okay. Tommy says I was stationed in Germany for 7 years in Bremerhaven and Gopingen. Go. What's GOE pronunciation again? There's an umlaut there. I can't remember the my German. I learned a bit of German back in my youth, but you know can't really remember it now like too well. Wouldn't mind actually learning, going back and doing it. But again, I don't have time. I wouldn't like. Imagine you could be a student forever. Those would be the days. Just learning the whole time. No pressure. No nothing to worry about. That's the wish. But I have to start looking at all these again because the daughter's getting a bit older now, and I have to start looking at where I'm going to plant her for university. That's the cheapest spot. you know like no parent wants a kid who's a genius, like, because it's going to cost you an arm and a leg, it's like, oh, my son's a genius, straight A student, he's going to be a doctor, he's going to be this and that. I'd be thinking, oh my god, the expense of that, there's you just want middle of the road type of kids, and then they can excel in their later years, then it'll be all pretty good. But I say that in jest, of course, as most Irish people just joke all the time. Roy says, thanks for your great advice on my stick repair. Went well and I'm happy. And many thin coats. Yeah, I can't stress that enough, Ben. It's like, you just put really thin coats on and you're just patient as well. And even like when you get thin, you can even, if you have a paint, you can just like glide it on with your finger or something like that, get the brush strokes out and little things. But if you're using a paint that's not going to react with your skin, of course, or something like that, just for that final little thing on it, there's a load of little hard kind of paints that you can get just for that final little coat that makes it a bit hard for a bit of wear and tear and friction and stuff, and then it just kind of smooths out. But yeah, you just need really thin coats. It's the amateur mistake. It's a lot of guys, they make a brilliant stick, they carve it well, they sand it, and then they just boom, throw on this gunk that just gets really thick, and it just like takes away from it. But you just kind of like you just put in like something to seal it, like, or a sanding sealer or something that kind of soaks into a grain a little bit. Then you sand it in between each coats, and just put it on just enough that it just kind of looks good. You don't want it to be too thick as well, because with the friction on a hand, if the coats are too thick, like, you just want it just like really hard and just above, like the sanding sealer as well. So then it, like, friction will get everything sooner or later, but at least when you have like that, it can withstand quite a lot for some time. Let's see now. Germany is a great place for a 20-year-old. Yeah, like, it's Germany is a class place. Like, I love Germany when I went there. It's a party place, and I don't know, is it just being Irish or stuff? People just were nice to me there, and they could speak English, and they were just curious about learning and who I was, and they just wanted to like represent their country well. Like, I think I told a story before. Like, it just, some German girl was dating a Spanish guy, and the Spanish guy, he had learned English in Carsavine in County Kerry, and they took us around, and like, I just kind of met them at like a trade show or something like that, and they wanted to show me this and that and show me the best places to go and where the best craft beer was. And it's they're the best type of trips where you just go out and about and you just meet some kind of local people, and they give you the information that you don't find in the books. That's the best way of traveling. I don't really have a plan when I travel, because I usually just go there, see where I want to go, meet a few people and start talking, and then each day decide where I want to go. That's kind of how I approach traveling. I don't even bring much with me, like just my passport and money, Like you can buy pretty much everything you need wherever you're going, like, or you just survive on what's there. Like, you know, t-shirts and clothes are usually, there's markets everywhere. Like, so it's quite easy to do that when you're traveling. Let's see. When we were in Ireland a few years ago, a tourist got blown off the cliffs of Moher. It's happened more than once. It's not just the cliffs of Moher. Like, sure, they have those mobile homes and caravans that blow off the edge as well. Like when a storm comes in, you see, like they don't know that a storm's coming, and you know they're probably staying there to get away from civilization anyway, and they don't have the internet, and then just it happens way more common. Like, yeah, like the cliffs of Moher, they shut the park down for half the day. Yeah, then anywhere, any cliffs, you want to stay away. Like, I don't get it. Like when the weather gets really bad, you see all of these, in Ireland we call them gombines, idiots, and they go right to the edge of the cliff, or when the waves are coming in. You've seen those videos online, like, they want to get this perfect picture or something like that. But hello, life is a bit more valuable than a picture. It happens too much. Like, whenever there's something bad coming, stay away from it. Like it's like you're walking down the street and you see some gurry or some character, some scumbag guy. You're just gonna walk away and stay away from him. The same with when these storms coming. Like, don't go out having a look at them or go swimming in the ocean. It happens to so many tourists. Like, it's unreal. They just they think it's fine to go out in the weather and stuff, and do what the locals do is a good rule of thumb when you're traveling. So if the locals are all hiding and away, then you follow them. Let's see. Holy smokes, there were some crazy winds. A lot of locals said it was the worst storm they had seen in years. They say that about every storm, though. It's the worst one, and every storm is the worst one. The worst is on the news. Like, they'd have the whole country scared. Like, they have this thing now in Ireland, like a amber warning, red alert. Yeah, if it's a really powerful storm, it gets the red alert, and lock up everything. The red alert, and they scare a lot of old people and things like that. And like, my brother and I, he'd be like a fireman, and he's a first responder, and I think he's driving an ambulance now. I haven't spoke to him for a while there. I must catch up with him, but he's always learning and doing new things. He's kind of into that, but he'd be out a lot during the storms, like, helping people or different things like that. Let's see, it was around September, October 2018. Yeah, like that was probably the one I was talking about, Storm Ophelia, I think it was called. It was almost a hurricane. I think that was it. And there was another bad one, I think, in 2014 or 15 as well. Let's see, that's hard, Bobo said. Antonia, is mineral oil good for wood? Like to moisturize it. You wouldn't use that as a finish, like mineral oil, just kind of like, if you have like a cutting, if you have a cutting board, those wooden cutting boards, and they usually say just put a bit of like mineral oil and stuff like that. But like, you'd want to be using some good finishes and stuff like that. Mineral oils, if you just have some bare wood, like as I said, with those kind of cutting boards, people put those type of things on it, as well. But it's just, the slippery, the smell of it. Like, when some people start using mineral oils and stuff, like, it might look good initially because the oil is like, bringing up the grain just like a finish would, and they think it looks good, but it's not a good finish. It doesn't last long. A lot of these mineral and cooking oils, they go off after a year as well. There's a 1 year before they start to go off, and you don't want to be using mineral oil that's starting to go off after a year. It just kind of gets really gooey, then disintegrates. Bobo, I was December 2016. The cliffs were very nice to this time. Yeah, there's probably no tourists then. It was annoying when they started charging people to go to the cliffs. It used to be free. I remember hearing about that at time. I'd been to those cliffs but didn't want to get too close to the edge. Yeah, they have like fencing and stuff up there. It's fine. Like, you have to, like, the cliffs are safe to go to. You have to be one of these guys that go over the fence and trying to look down to get blown off. Or else walk way down, like off the beaten track. Like, there's always had barriers and stuff there, so there's nothing to kind of worry about. But just if there's a storm coming, stay in, light a fire, cup of tea, get a book because there could be a power cut, have plenty of lights and batteries, and you'll be fine. Like, these storms only last like 2 hours when they hit, the electricity goes out a lot. That's about it. Let's see. Tim says, "Yep, that was it. She was in a trailer mobile home type of vehicle. Yeah, that's the one I remember too. It was. I didn't think it was the Cliffs of Moher. I thought it was like in Cork or Kerry or someplace. But as I said, it's happened a few times. Like could be either one of them. Yeah, and it was Ophelia. Yeah, I remember the Ophelia one, because that was you know, there's a lot of excitement about that being like a hurricane grade hitting Ireland. Let's see. The surfers will all get excited when there's a storm coming. Yeah, Doolin. They all go out. I don't know. They're mad. Like, when these big waves are coming, they go out trying to catch them as well. But you know, I'm a land creature. You know, if you want to like surfing, like, you know, the guys that go surfing when these like great white sharks are swimming around and they know they're in the water and they're near them, you know, that's a whole new level of bravery, or you know, is it bravery or is it just something else? And Nuts and Knives. Hi, Francis. Nice to be on the live with you again. Question. I have very many single blackthorn saplings. I'm interested to know how long till they would be stick size, 1 year or growth so far. A long time. You see, like, for a blackthorn to get to be like a walking stick, it has to be like in the middle of a bush, because a lot of the blackthorn around the outside is going to grow all different ways. You can't even make anything out of it. Like it'll go a few inches this way, a few inches this way, a few inches this way. Like what you want is like one in the center that's looking for the light and going to grow up straight. You know, I think it was Diane said it took her 10 years to do one. I said about 15 years easily, and she was saying, well, she did one and grew one within 10 years. But like, you know, it depends on the thickness as well. Like, you know, after about 10 years you can make these kind of light sticks, but if you want something a bit kind of heftier, maybe 15 years. It'd be a long time. You know, everyone, like another thing too about it is, like, say you have a field and you put a whole hedge around of blackthorn. Literally you can walk 100 feet of a hedge and not see one suitable walking stick. It's not like you can coppice it quite easily, and you know, it's like hazel or something like that, where you can just go and coppice, like, you know, 50 or 100 sticks like that. You got to go look for them. You take 2 or 3 here, 2 or 3 there, you walk along. It's you know, a lot of people, they want to grow their own and do it, and they all learn the hard way, because like I kind of give them the advice and I say, look, you know, there's a reason why, if this was as easy to grow to a stick, then everyone would be doing it. Everyone would have to do it after a few years. Like, you know, 15 years is a long time to be waiting. Just get a plane ticket to Ireland, come over here, go walk around, find a stick, cut it, throw it in my shed for 2 years. I'll post it over to a DHL. That's it. You know, I've actually done that before to guys. I had a guy cut a stick, and he couldn't bring it over because it was green wood, and then I posted over to him as well that he'd cut. So just come to Ireland. I'll show you some places that there's blackthorn if you want to know how to cut some. It'll be a bit this quicker. Antonio, tropical storm. Nothing happened, but a hurricane category 1. You lose the 3 category 2 your fence, category 3 your roof, category 4 your house get damaged, category 5 start praying everything will be gone. But I know there's you know, a lot of people, they like to party during these storms as well. Like you always hear of these, well, in Ireland anyway, we hear that people are having hurricane parties and stuff like that. And you know, if everyone is, like, you know, in something together, there's a sense of community or something like that when they face some kind of hardship. But I don't know, like I don't know if I'd be partying. I'd be like, you know, I'd be in the basement or something like that, just putting on some music and just trying to wait it out. You know, I'd sleep through a number of storms as well. Most of they always hit at night. So like the wind is howling and stuff like that, and the worst is when the gate comes loose and it's just banging like crazy, and you don't want to get out of bed because it's like cold, and I'm just hoping the wife kind of, like, you know, stays asleep, doesn't wake me up to go out and close the gate, which happens sometimes. Or sometimes it's like the neighbor's gate, and you know, I'm not going in the dark, like walk around my neighbor's house, like they could think I'm an intruder or something like that. So yeah, sometimes that's the noisy part of the storms and stuff like that. But sometimes after a storm, you find some interesting pieces of wood. You know, you walk the beach after a storm as well, and you know, the surge in and different things like that. I have found some interesting pieces of wood after storms as well. There was one year we got a really bad storm, and 5% of the trees in Ireland came down. That's what the forestry guys were saying anyway. Let's see now. Kurt says, with storms, Mother Nature doesn't have a sense of humor with knuckleheads. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It's always these guys, like, they're trying to get a video or something like that. Like, if you go onto YouTube and, like, you can find people who were nearly killed getting a photo, and then there's like video top tens of people who died trying to do stuff, just for that picture and things. That's not worth it, lads. Just get a stock image if you need. If you really need a picture, just pay for a stock image or something like that and say you took it. No one will know. No one will know. But you just have to have some common sense, and be very careful when you're out and about. Especially with Mother Nature, like flood waters too. When water surge in, you haven't got a chance. I was in Thailand during the tsunami as well, man. That's another scary story. Let's see. Let's see. Tommy says, "Oh my, you don't want to go in the basement during a hurricane. There are very, very few basements in Florida. Why does it flood? And then the crocodiles come in." I saw a movie actually. I saw, what was it? I saw some terrible movies. It called Crawl or something with the son. We watched it. Was it like a few weeks ago, where there was a hurricane coming into Florida. Some girl was going to see her dad or something like that, and he got bit and was in the basement, and there was a big crocodile in the basement, and hilarity ensued or something like that. But oh yes, you've seen that movie too. I think everyone's seen everything that's on Netflix over the past year and stuff like that. But I don't watch like too many movies or stuff like that. I suppose every Friday night, or maybe on Saturday night, I usually watch a movie with the son or the family. Well, the family movie has just become me and the son now, because the youngest, he doesn't like movies, and the oldest, she doesn't want to do anything. She just wants to talk to her online friends, and my wife doesn't like the type of movies that I like. Some kind of terror, like this the stereotypical kind of housewife movies is exactly the type of thing my wife likes. Wouldn't a nice cozy pub be the best place to shelter? It would. A lock-in. Have a lock-in. That's what you want. Got to be careful. The old popo don't know, but unless they're inside there too, which happens. Like, hypothetically speaking, on New Year's Eve, when the pubs are supposed to be closed, hypothetically speaking, there could be some local police in these local pubs doing a lock-in, on Christmas Eve. Hypothetically speaking, of course, like, of course that stuff wouldn't go on, would it? So yeah, lock-ins are pretty good. If you get into to one as well. Let's see. Tim says, "I have to hop into a meeting. Thanks, Francis. Have a good one at all. Yeah, kick ass of that meeting, or have one of those scrum meetings that don't last for too long. Someone's starting to like talk too much and the sound of their own voice, just end the meeting. I don't know, man. Meetings are a waste of time. I used to hate doing meetings at if they're just usually someone who's just like this, talking and talking and talking and talking about nothing. You accomplish nothing. Like, those scrum meetings are the best ones. Just bang, 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 and then just everyone gets a minute to talk, and then it's over. Like, but and then even sales meetings and different things with clients, you just got to get to the point really fast and stuff like that. Tommy said, "I agree. A pub would be great. Yeah, with the big doors just closed, and as I said, like, if you ever come to Clorg and go to Falvey's pub, if they're open, there are just two doors up from me. Very, very good traditional type of Irish pub. Kingston's as well. Irwin Kingston. He's a good lad as well. If you're looking for a pub, they'd be the two that I kind of like mainly around here. Like, I don't go out too much because doing the family thing, of course. And also it's boring going out in Clarkland. There's if you're coming here as a tourist, it's fine. But when you live here, the same local faces, the same stories, and they're just talking about the same boring things as well. I prefer to save up and travel and go somewhere and talk to people a bit more interesting, with more stories than just talking about the local football scene or something like that. Or who should be the next manager of the Kerry team, or Tyrone won. And I think my dad's from Fermanagh, so he's and the McCaffrey's connection to Tyrone as well, so they're into the final. But here in County Kerry in Ireland, Irish Gaelic football is like religion. It's obsessive. It's and they're very sore losers too. Sorry to say, if I have to say how it is and say the truth. When they were in the semi-finals, and Kerry lost. There was it last Sunday to Tyrone, and Tyrone had to have the match cancelled because before there was like a COVID case and they didn't have their team in training and this and that. And I was just, kind of listening to what was going on and the excuses out of the Kerry team, this and that, and they need to change this, and we didn't have the this and that. If you lose, you lose. Stop the excuses and just kind of get on with it as well. But like with Kerry, the expectations are very high. They almost think it's their, it's their trophy each year before they've even won it. They have that type of attitude as well. Tom Kelly, of course, from the Kelly family home list in Canolly, County Fermanagh. Yeah, you're on my dad's live stream. Yeah, he's always asking about you. I must get my dad in one of these live streams again when I remember. But my dad's actually at a wedding today. That reminds me, my cousin is getting married to an Australian girl. I remember, and then her family had some issue with trying to get over from Australia because of the restrictions and stuff. So yeah, like in Killorglin Church today, my first cousin, is getting married, and I think now that's where my dad is at this day, because he told me, don't ask him for nothing. Like, he said, we're going to a wedding, don't ask for nothing. And I think tomorrow he'll be a bit tired as well. So I don't know what I don't know what it is. I suppose I think I got some invite or stuff like that, but I've just kind of all over the place, and it's hard for me to get out. So anyway, my cousin, he's getting married, and good for him. I think he's in his 40s. It's about time. He took his time getting married. I suppose most Irish guys would be kind of married, I suppose, in their 30s or something. Mid-30s is usually, like, there's always a few guys that have wonderful surprises when they're 20s, and they have an instant family and they get married at that age too. Maybe a bit younger as well, even 16 and 17 nowadays. He's great fun, Tom. Yeah, he'll talk for hours. Like, he's mad into my dad's like mad into the football, the Irish music, all of that kind of stuff as well. Obsessed with Fermanagh and stuff like that. Doesn't understand why I'm not as obsessed as with Fermanagh as him, because I wasn't raised there. I wouldn't be like, he's very, very fanatical. He knows everything. But like, it's kind of weird in Fermanagh every time I go there. It's like everyone speaks in code, and they speak in code names, and they're like, it's, if you're listening to conversations between Fermanagh people, it's very hard as well with the accent, like even to kind of hear them and stuff like that. And they speak like in this kind of really different type of way. But yeah, they're always like speaking, do you know this person? Do you know this person? This person? Well, this person's connected to this person, but this person's related to this person. And like, you're just listening to like just surnames go back and forth. It's like, it's it's how a lot of people would communicate up there as well. Let's see, John. Hey Francis, how are you? I'm good, John. Where are you, John? Where are you from? What's your story? Give a little introduction there to us all. Tommy, that's right, Kirk. Some of the old homes in North Florida on high ground have some basement, but everywhere else, forget about it. Yeah, there's no basements in Ireland. I actually have a basement here in the shop, and it gets flooded. It gets flooded once every 8 years, apparently. So it's due to have a flooding soon. And I have my sticks all raised up off the ground. I have a few down there in the basement, or as I call it, the dungeon, my little dungeon. Kurt, lived in Florida over 13 years. The happy medium is Northern Virginia now. Let's see, you're a halfback, Kirk. That must be some local slang. Obviously it's a compliment coming from Tommy, of course. Antonio, if you go walking in the Everglades, you can see the water running under the rocks. I don't know, you want to go walking in the Everglades? Isn't that where all those alligators are? And isn't there pythons as well that can eat you and stuff? I don't know about all these, like going for walks in the Everglades and different things like that. There's too many things that can eat you, like, anywhere I want to go, I don't want to be on the menu as well. That's why I stay out of the waters, like in places like South Africa with all the great whites around. But yeah, like you have to look after yourself. That's the thing in America. I think I said this before too. You got to be a bit careful when you go out. That's why you need a Blackthorn walking stick for protection to help you against any of these mighty foes and creatures. But you see, my name's Francis. I can talk to the animals. So if a bear is coming out and we go, hey, I'm Irish, leave me alone. This Irish pasty meat isn't really good for you to eat. And of course, given my ability to talk to the animals, they'll all go away as well. So that's all good. John, I was on here a wee while before. I'm a 20-year-old film student from Donegal. I love the history of stick fighting, and I'm a third generation stick maker. Did you contact me before about making a movie or something, or a documentary? I remember like some film student said he wanted to come down, and he showed me some movie he made of a guy up the north or something like that, and he was due to come down to do, and I was like, yeah, sure, and something like that. But where it's a third generation stick in Donegal. I'm not aware of any stick making families there, but yeah, if you have some information, it'd be always good to see as well. I was supposed to go up to Bundoran sometime, but I keep putting it off as well. Bundoran is your kind of tourist spot there in Donegal. As bad as New Orleans, where some of the houses are below sea level. You don't want a house below sea level. That's just asking to be flooded. Are they that desperate for land? They got to build on lands like that. Kirk worked in mining in Florida. Now diplomatic security. Lived in Lakeland. So diplomatic security, like, do you have to solve some problems? Is it? That sounds like some kind of, you're a diplomat. Aren't you you can't get arrested if you're a diplomat as well or something? Um, John, that wasn't me. So okay, you weren't the student filmmaker. Okay. Yeah, no, a filmmaker from up north. He contacted me a while ago, wanting to make. He wanted to come down and make some documentary and this and that, and he had wanted to do so many things. I just said yeah. But as long as he wouldn't interfere with my job and stuff like that. Once he's a fly in the wall type of thing. But it'd be interesting to make a documentary about stick making, and all the characters and people that kind of want to do it and go out on a cutting season and stuff. It'd be interesting to have someone to like record, and then you could just focus on doing the work. Let's see now. Where were we? Kurt was it there? Okay, John. Tommy says, a halfback is a Yankee from the northern states that moves to Florida and finds out it's too hot, then halfway back to the north. A halfback. All right. So someone who just was used to a nice temperate climate, and then Florida, which is tropical type of thing. But yeah, it takes a while. I don't mind the heat. Like, I don't mind. Like, you can always drink a cool beer, cool down, have some nice drink. There's always ways to cool down, but I don't like being cold, man. I hate the winters. Like when they get really, really ice cold and your lips are going, the glasses are all fogged up. When you're wearing those surgical masks and your glasses are all steamed up, and you're trying to be able to drive, and it's give me summer heat any day over winter cold. But also I'm out cutting in the winter, so I never kind of enjoy that type of weather. Let's see. No, you can walk in the Everglades. There are beautiful trails in winter months, no mosquitoes, and the weather is nice. Very good. I didn't know that. I would just assume mosquitoes, alligators jumping out, snapping your head off, and you know that's how it's portrayed to Irish people. They hear the Everglades, they think of that is it Cajun type of accent, that New Orleans type of thing, or something like that. I can't remember, but yeah, it's good. Like, of course, like there's some lovely places to walk and different things like that. But I don't know. There's still alligators nearby. Lenny, you might be able to talk to animals, Francis, but I don't think you'd win an argument with my missus. Oh, sounds like a challenge. But no, I'd never win an argument with a lady. You gotta leave them win. What's that called? Humility when right. So you're right. I'm right, I'm right, I'm right, but you just kind of let them think they've won, and life goes on then without it. But you don't want me to be your relationship counselor there, Lenny. You know, but look, you're still with her. She's still your wife, so you must be doing something right. There must be you either have a way or a system to that functions between you and your wife. So what is your wise wisdom, Lenny? What do you want to say to the community? As one of the elder statesmen of this community, you have a lot of knowledge and advice to bestow onto the younger guys as well. So why not give your pearls of wisdom? That's right. The best time to be in Florida is in the winter. Is that good? Yeah, I must get away from the Ireland. I'd love to go to Florida in the winter time. I just have a little drink, help the throat. But yeah, it'd be good. I always want to get away from Ireland for December or January or something, but I'm always just too busy with the States. Hopefully, I'll get busy enough that I can kind of take a break. I probably need to schedule that each year where I can do a thing where I say, right, every January I'm just going to take a month off or something like that. But with all that's going on in the world at the moment, you just got to work. But if things go well and stuff like that, I might take a month off once a year, just to kind of recharge the batteries and stuff. Once I get on top of everything and get a system, I'm always just running around trying to get everything done. Let's see. You could be a snowbird, Tommy says. Kurt, my ex lives in Florida. The reason why I moved to North Virginia. Okay, so there's a strong female presence in your past, Kirk, as well. Yeah, it's when things break down, they break down, and you just got to go your separate ways. That's the best advice. If you got kids, you just be there, and that's about it. But John, I'm planning on making a fairly big budget short film about sticks in the future. Actually, well, here's your star. Obviously, you're getting your inspiration from this channel. I want all the credits as well. A film it's inspired by. Just kidding, just joking. So by big budget short film, you must have got funding. So is there from the Irish Film Board usually will do funding in movies, but you have to basically almost promote an area within the movies. So sometimes it takes away from the flow of the movies as well that you see when you get those kind of big budgets. Yeah, it'd be interesting to if you have any extra spots, if you need an extra, I'll be there. Some eccentric guy. I can play any character. I can be a villain. I can be a babyface character. Sure, why not? Anything that promotes sticks, and would people will see something cool, they'll want to buy more. Michael, I was going to say we need some new people on here because you hadn't touched that brandy bottle. Yes, yeah, but we have a few new people now, and it's starting to grow. It's weird. Usually in the summer months, YouTube just dies in terms of people are going out and actually doing stuff, and then when it comes into winter time, more and more people are kind of online and stuff like that as well. So it kind of comes and goes and different things. Let's see now. John says, my great grandfather was a stick maker, then my grandfather, and now my grandfather is showing me the ropes on how to do it. Okay. Okay, be interesting to kind of to see if all of these guys were stick makers, I should know who they are. I can ask around. The stick maker community is kind of tiny. If all these guys were doing stick making in Donegal and all around that kind of area, I would know a lot of people up there. So I'll ask around again to see who the stick guys were up there, because there's not many. It's a small community. Every now and again I get people who say their dad was a very famous stick maker and stuff like that, and ask around, and it's usually not the case. But in Donegal is usually the wool the crafts, like around the wool, that was very well known. The Aran sweaters were legitimately made in Donegal for a number of years, and there's a few woolen mills up there as well. Tweed is very common type of thing as well in Donegal. But yeah, there wasn't any really famous stick makers or anyone there that has been doing it. No one I've seen from the craft fairs or the markets or anything as well. But I'll ask around again. Like, I know there's 2 stick makers in Tyrone. There's a guy in Derry. There's 2 guys in Belfast. There's a guy in County Down as well. So like, I like to try to know all the guys who are like the stick makers and different things like that as well. And just from traveling around and speaking, I'll have a pretty good idea of the type of people who were going and different things, like, whether it's, different places and different things as well. Like, there's a guy in County Clare, he emerged in 2014. The guy in Wicklow emerged, he was a hobbyist, and then in 2012 he set up a business as well. So usually I kind of know most of like where everyone's kind of coming from and different things like that as well. Let's see. Hazel mostly. There's barely any Blackthorn. Yeah, there's not too much in Donegal. A little bit around Fermanagh and stuff. Tyrone, there's a bit of Blackthorn. You got to find the overgrown places, like, and there's not too many of them. What the hell did I write? That's a good reason, Kurt. Okay, Lenny, my advice to the chat room is go away to see Francis. Only see the missus 3 months a year. Long marriage. So your advice is basically that every guy needs 3 months a year to themselves for a happy marriage. So that means 9 months you just got to go through, and then 3 months to yourself. Sounds pretty good. Diplomatic security, bullet catcher for VIPs. But I duck. I work for the State Department. Oh, you sound way more interesting. The more I learn about you, Kirk, I want to have a chat with you about this. So, but for VIPs, like, are you like babysitting these kind of bratty pop stars, or is it like, some important individuals, or you sound like you're from an interesting background as well. You must have some pretty good training, but it takes a lot of mental fortitude to have a job like that. John, my grandfather is well known for his stick making. He used to go to the fairs to sell, but now he mostly sells to a Scottish man who travels around to the fairs around the country selling. I'll ask again. It'd be easy enough thing to find out as well. But whenever someone comes and starts saying that their dad's a famous one, their granddad's a famous one, there's this a famous one, so famous that I would have definitely known or heard about them, and it may very well be the case, but I don't know anyone that is well known for stick making up in that particular region for quite some time now. Tommy, after being gone for a while, get the welcome home kisses, then leave again before honey-do list get written, or the to-do list. Yeah, before you have, there's always to fix the shelf, fix this, get a new thing, there's something wrong here. It's like, you come home from hard days of work to another hard days of work. That's usually how it is. Tim, a good friend in the Inishowen pointed out a patch of Blackthorn to me some years ago. Inishowen, all right. And is it still there? You're just giving away the information. Now everyone knows where your Blackthorn patch is. You can't tell people where the best thing is. John, Kirk sounds like the main character from a Tom Clancy book. Kirk is a very talented, well-traveled, highly skilled individual as well. As I said, everyone in this community, they've got great stories, great backgrounds, a lot of intelligence as well. Way more interesting than me. They should all have their own YouTube channels. But what I'll probably do is in time, if I can get the setup, is interview. I'd interview Kirk, or do like if there's a way where I can kind of like do a kind of live stream with 2 people or something like that. I have to kind of look into doing it. I'd love to do all of those and then have some kind of like live interaction. Then just bring on one person and talk to them and stuff. But I just have to kind of do that. Kurt gets to shoot the cool guns. Yeah, I'm sure. So Kirk, what is your weapon of choice? Do you have one of the Colts or a Ruger or a Smith and Wesson or a Beretta or a Glock or what's your trusty weapon? And be interesting to hear your reason. John, I wouldn't call us famous, but my grandfather is well known in our local community for it. But I'd say that's about it. Okay, so we'll see. We'll see anyway. I'll have an ask around. It's just that sometimes I get a lot of people that just kind of make those kind of like statements that their grandfather or great grandfather famous. There's this and that and this when they might have made 2 sticks once in their life, and it's they're not well known from at all. Everyone made a stick here and there throughout it, but to kind of there's very few authentic stick makers. So I'll always be, it's always a topic there that I'll request more information. I'll probe when everyone makes a statement. In that, I'll say, right, who are you? I'll find out, and because it's good to know. But I know all the guys who are involved in stick making. It's a very small community in Ireland, and anyone new that comes around, if they're new, it's all well and good. But when they kind of, they make these kind of statements that their parents are very famous within the community, but it's always there's always something there that I always will call out and ask for more information on. Let's see now. Kurt, I'll send you the recipe from the Tiger Nut Brandy, the secret recipe for the members only. So keep good the Blackthorn strong. Yeah, who knows? I could set up a members area, and that would be interesting. Antonio, a Colt Anaconda 44 Magnum. Sounds the powerful. If that sounds like it'd be a heavy type of gun to have and quick in the draw. Like, does the weights bear relevance with how quickly you can draw? I suppose it would. We all want to see that, Kurt. Yes. How hard or easy is Blackthorn to work with? Well, John, you as a stick maker, you'd be able to answer that question there for all of us. What is your opinion on Blackthorn, of how easy it is to work with? Like, I'm always interested to hear, from other stick makers, their experience of what they think. Like, I know pretty well the hard and the easy parts, but yeah, be interesting to hear it as well. So it's as a seasoned stick maker there, John, usually you'd be asking a different type of question there. So maybe I'm wrong, but you're giving me the vibe of a new person who's new to it, and that's good. I'm happy that you're getting involved in the Blackthorn field as well. Let's see. That's about it, Tommy. Francis got to arse about face again. 2 5-month trips a year does a marriage the work of gold. Where'd you go, Lenny? Do you go to the sun? You go down to Spain and party it? Francis, can I DM you if you like and tell you more? Oh yeah, no, not a bother. My email's on the website. Just send the email through. Let's see. Our G-Man is a shine maker. Very good. Let's see. G-Man is a shine maker. I'm missing the reference there. I'm sure there's some kind of joke there. Drink more likely, Tom. Honestly, I haven't worked with it yet. Only hazel. The Blackthorns we get are tiny, about the size of cudgels. Yeah, I pretty much figured that out. You haven't worked with Blackthorn there yet, and you're just kind of new to the kind of field and stuff like that as well. So it's good that you have an interest in the kind of Blackthorn field, and you're brand kind of new to this sort of thing as well. So yeah, keep watching the channel. I have loads of information for brand new stick makers as well. Have patience as well. The most important thing always, which I say to every new stick maker, John, is patience. You need to wait 2 or 3 years on the seasoning of sticks. As you can see, you're going to get loads of dust in your eyes as well. That's one of the things that, I have these thick eyebrows, and the dust gets in there, and sometimes they fall into your eye. And that's something you all these little things you'll discover when you're involved with stick making as well. Kirk, work through the Obama administration to now. Politicians, bah humbug. Yeah, like politicians are always going to be needs they do need the protection as well. But yeah, it's interesting. So you're one of the guys in like the black suit and like the sunglasses on, and like, oh my god, and you have the Glocks. The Glocks are very light. Yeah, I like. I have shot a Glock before in a shooting range in Korea when I lived in Korea. There was a shooting range right in the basement under where I was working, and we used to go down to every break and shoot. I think it was like $30 for only for 6 rounds to shoot a Glock. That was like the price that it was as well. Francis, professor of stick school. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And I'm tough on new stick guys, but it's good. It makes them better. You got to keep them in line as well when the storytelling starts and stuff like. And it's all good to to do this as well. That there's a number of new guys that they're coming up, and they'll find their way within this kind of industry as well. But it just takes a while. You got to go through the process and the motions. To call yourself a famous stick maker or something like that. You have to you have to earn the fame as well. And let's see now. The government police that cracked down on liquor during the prohibition in the 30s, they were called the G-men. All right. I haven't read about prohibition probably in a long time, but that wouldn't go down too well in Ireland if they cancelled the pubs here for a long time. No one could go in and have a beer, like, so. It was pretty tough given that as Irish things. I see. My grandfather destroyed his lungs by making sticks. Yeah, like, again, you have to take care with the dust and stuff like that. Like, I'll get a good extractor fan for my workshop once I build it. Basic stuff there, like, every stick maker, you don't breathe the dust. It messes you up, man. You always need protection. Like, even from years and years ago, like, all the stick guys would do that as well, and different things. So it's the dust from hardwood is terrible as well. So look, if you're new to it, there's no shame in being new, John. Safety first. The extractor is important. Working outside. There's even if you've worked from hazel and stuff like that, you need to know about your extractor and stuff like that. So look, John, you're definitely a new guy from your comments and stuff here. It's all well and good. You're still welcome, and I'll give you some advice and tips and how to get going on safety first as well. But look, you're going to be the first of your clan of famous stick makers. Then just take your time, give yourself 2 to 3 years to get to level 1, and maybe then after about 5 to 10 years, when you make 10,000 Blackthorn sticks, or 10,000 walking sticks, then you can call yourself an expert or something like that. So everyone, it is true, they said 10,000 hours. I'm going to put it out there now. You need 10,000 sticks. If you make, you could make like 2,000 sticks a year. If you do it as a full-time job. So if you're doing about 2,000 a year, you do 5-6 years or something like that, you get your 10,000 sticks. Then you know your craft. Let's see now, Francis. Every time I watch a stream, I always wonder whether your essential oil maker would sell one to a man with Irish heritage in the UK. Very good, very good. So essential oil maker. Oh yeah, you're referring to the brandy. Yeah, sorry, I'd lost you for a second. This is the essential oils. Let's see, who was the most famous stick maker, and do you know any ways to make a stick more durable or harder, the head of the stick? Well, who's if you're looking, the Ryan, and there's a guy called Ryan who's quite famous in the 80s. A lot of these stick makers, they don't last longer than three years. There's different guys. There's a Delaney and Kerry as well that was quite famous in the 50s. There's different stick makers like throughout time, but usually they would only be around for a decade. They had a few stories in the newspaper, then their sons never really done that as well. But right now in 2021, I think that I'm pretty much up there as one of the most famous stick makers in Ireland. There's myself, there's the guy in Wicklow who's quite famous, there's the guy up in Mayo. I think the three of us would be, and the guy in Derry as well, four of us. If I had to say, with the most famous of the stick makers nowadays, there's about four of us that would have been doing it for long enough, have made enough sticks, and have that as well. So let's see now. What is it? We'll just answer one more question. Gotta go. John has one last time. My grandfather make around 1,000 sticks a year. He always told me there's good money in it. But I mostly want to do is carry the legacy. That's number one. I know my grandfather for as well. 1,000 sticks per year. And if he was making it back in those days, but you're saying he was only doing hazel sticks, so he made 1,000 hazel sticks a year. It is. But anyway, look. It's you're new to the game, John. Welcome. Be interesting to see who you are and how you progress as a stick maker and stuff. Just find your story. This kind of narrative about your famous family that's well known for all of this stick making and stuff. Like if that can't be validated, then there's no point going with that story. Go for a different story. There's many different stories to develop yourself as a personal brand. You can do it as a heritage brand to a particular area you're in. There's loads of different ways in which you can create your story around your craft business as well. But like this my father was famous for doing it, my great-grandfather, my great-great-grandfather. Like, you really need to have that narrative. Like, I can say the faction fighter Mick Foley, who's from Killorglin, who my mother's family name is Foley, comes from the exact same region of this family of Foleys. They were all located just back further on in Cremon and Kilnagobinit. So I can say, like, there's the History of Killorglin books 1985, which has all the references to Mick Foley as being a faction fighter. They have all that information, the stories in the Kerryman. So I can say that statement, and I can validate it with all the references with and articles with the books and different things as well. So like if there is someone like famous in there as well, like, you'll always be called out on it. So you do need to know it inside out and have to validate exactly your story. But it's like you'd hear it all the time. I really got to go now because I think I ran over time today. But plenty of questions there, and an interesting live stream as always. Okay, guys, I gotta go. I think I'm running late. So see you next week. Take care. Bye bye.